Now to a developing story. We're following on the West Coast. Cargo operations at Canada's largest port in Vancouver and elsewhere in BC have now ground to a halt after 7,500 workers invoked their strike mandate over pay and other issues. The work stoppage is just hours old, but could potentially deliver a major hit to the economy. The CBC's Benit Brach is near the Vancouver port with the latest. Benit, set the scene where you are, and what are the sticking points in this dispute?
Well, Neil, there are several picket lines across BC today, and this right behind me is one of them. You can see workers, they're sitting together, they have their posters, their flags, their tents, and some of them are walking around. People are honking, kind of showing some of their support. And as you just mentioned, more than 7,000 workers are being affected by this across 30 points in British Columbia. So why is this happening? What are the sticking points? Well, the union has said that one of the main issues here is that they want protections against contracting out, protections against automation, and also protections with the cost of living. You know, seeing prices rise in BC, they want to make sure that people can afford it. The other thing they kind of mentioned in the past is the pandemic, talking about just how many of their workers were out here at the ports when many Canadians were told to sit at home during lockdown. So they mentioned some of those, that part as well. So those are the kind of the main sticking points that we're seeing.
Benit, during the pandemic, we saw a number of shipping delays and the supply chain was really affected by the pandemic. What is the potential impact of this strike, particularly if it drags on?
Well, there's huge worry. We saw what happened during the pandemic, and similar things could happen when your supply chain just comes to a halt. You know, driving around here, I always see the cranes in the back, they're working. I see semi-trucks that are pulling in giant containers from the port here, and that has all come to a halt. I actually had a chance to speak to a trucking company today who says that they have about 100 workers who are impacted by this, and they're not driving right now. Their truck drivers are at a standstill, and they deliver goods across North America. So this isn't just a Vancouver thing. This isn't just BC. This is Canada. This is across international borders as well. And about $3 billion of goods is processed with these BC ports per year. So when that comes to an end, when it shuts down, you can just see some of those implications. We also had our labor minister talk about, what could be at stake here. He said that these parties are still at the bargaining table trying to find an answer, but again, we're watching and we're waiting.